Tánaiste, we are all aware in the House that a case is being taken by the Office Director of Corporate Enforcement about a very serious allegations, and this is under judicial review. However, what I want to ask you about today is Minister Naughton's actions as he outlined yesterday here in the House and about political accountability. Tánaiste, as you know, every Minister of Government is accountable to the House. The revelations in yesterday's Irish Times confirmed by Minister Naughton that he gave a heads-up to a PR lobbyist who was acting on behalf of INM, one company involved in a media merger that the Minister had statutory responsibility for, smacks of old-style politics and cronyism, the type of politics that Fine Gael always try to say they're actually above. The reality is that the PR lobbyist was after one thing and one thing only, and that was a heads-up as to what would happen with the merger application between INM and Celtic newspapers. That is not a phone call, or as simple as a phone call between two mates. It is not as insignificant as Minister Naughton and the Taoiseach is trying to portray. The Minister is trying to imply that nothing sensitive was discussed when it is clear that a heads-up was given. Minister Naughton not only confirmed that when he took the call from the PR lobbyist on his mobile phone, but that he was informed for the first time by the PR lobbyist that the Competition and Consumer Authority had made its ruling in relation to the merger involving INM and Celtic newspapers. This, Tánaiste, I'm sure you agree, is in itself highly irregular, that a lobbyist had this information, and I cannot understand why this did not set off alarm bells with the Minister. And I want to know what action the Government are taking to ascertain as to how that information reached the lobbyist before a Minister. Minister Naughton did not record the call. Minister Naughton did not speak to officials about the call. Minister Naughton did not inform the Dáil about the call. Minister Naughton did not inform the public about the Dáil. In fact, 3 weeks after the call, the Minister withheld his intentions and his personal views from a Dáil here in parliamentary questions, and he actually said on the day in the Dáil record, "I have not made my views known and I am not going to." That is a direct quote from his contribution on the day. Tánaiste, this stinks. Minister Naughton made a virtue of not telling deputies in the House about his intentions, personal or ministerial, when he had disclosed them to a lobbyist before that. And it is ironic that the Minister has invited any member of Dáil to inspect the file when nothing is recorded on that file about this personal call that he had with the lobbyist about the merger. Tánaiste, do you believe, as Tánaiste, that it is appropriate that Minister Naughton said he was acted in this manner, that his defence was that he was speaking in a personal capacity rather than a minister with statutory responsibility? Do you accept that as an excuse, or do you not kind of say that that's the dog ate my homework kind of variation of excuse? Tánaiste, did you accept that Minister Naughton, in those quotes that I outlined, misled the Dáil last December? And finally, Tánaiste, did you agree that Minister Naughton's actions were inappropriate and unacceptable?
Just before you answer, 1 minute.
Thank you, Tánaiste. Was that a personal answer or a ministerial answer? It didn't reveal anything. Tánaiste, it did. It gave an indication from the Minister as to how he would proceed. And the lobbyist then used that information and passed it to his client, months before the Minister made his official view known. He revealed to the lobbyist what he wouldn't reveal to Dáil Éireann under questioning, and in fact said to Dáil Éireann that he had not expressed any opinion about it. The Minister. This wasn't a personal phone call. This wasn't a chat between two friends about rugby. This was about ministerial business. And the consequences were that a participant in a commercial process that the Minister had oversight was given information and used that information. So the notion that this is something that can be wished away cannot proceed, cannot be allowed to happen, Tánaiste. And again, I asked you a straight question. Do you think his actions during that phone call were appropriate? Was it appropriate to have that discussion as a Minister dealing with a specific issue with a lobbyist? Was it appropriate in your view, Tánaiste?
Tánaiste, just 1 minute.